The live stream is on. I'm actually seeing it.
Put it in a different computer.
We'll use this name as RAN-DAM.
Yes, Guruji. I exactly use that same thing.
Oh, is it? Okay.
And I also put
Okay.
the suffix. Warm welcome to all the YouTube subscribers and the people who are asking queries. Please remember that whatever discussions we are doing or remedies that we are suggesting are coming from the ancient sages' wisdom. We are following the traditional astrological method propounded by Sage Parashara and Sage Brigu. So these are the two rishis we are basically following. And we have the team led by our illustrious Guruji, Shri Dhilip Kumar, who is having 30 years of experience. And as you can see, we are starting with the prayer to Lord Ganesha, who is the one who is known as Sankata Mochan and Vignaharta. So, request the divine blessing. Yes, please, Guruji.
Gajananam Bhutaganati Sevitam Kapitajambu Falasara Bhakshitam Umasutam Shoka Vinasha Karanam Namami Vigneshwara Pada Pankajam. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tashmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Om Shri Gurave Namaha, Om Shri Gurave Namaha. So this helps you, the information on how to be in touch with us is given here. We have two email IDs, astrodiaries@gmail.com and astroekdk@gmail.com. So please read the disclaimer.
For those of you who are not able to read what is in English, let me tell you that whatever discussions we are having or suggestions we are giving today or in the future will not be a replacement for the regular treatment that is going on and advised by qualified professionals. We are only referring to the ancient classics and trying to alleviate the problem by giving the ancient remedies prescribed by our sages. So once again, please treat these remedies as per your faith and belief, and there is no compulsion or no binding on anybody whatsoever. And we will not be held responsible or liable for results whatsoever. So with that disclaimer, shall we proceed, Guruji?
Yeah. And we would like to say, whenever you type the details, always mention the date of birth. Wherever possible, give the month in words. And after the date of birth, immediately type the time of birth, maybe in railway hours, to remove the confusion about AM, PM. Like 23 hours and 10 minutes is better than saying 11:10 PM. Okay. So, because you might make a mistake on AM, PM. Okay. Or you can use both and mention the place of birth mandatory because without the place of birth, time has no meaning. So just remember these things. And in one message, please put everything. Do not break the message at at one in one place. You just type the date, and then after 5 messages, somebody you type the time of birth. Please don't do that. Just do it in one single message. Not only the date of birth, time, and place of birth, but also the question. Okay, we already have one horoscope kept ready because the person is in urgent need of clarification, and they've already contacted us through WhatsApp. So we'll be starting with that. Over to you, Kishorji and team. You can start showing the first horoscope.
So, Guruji, did they send you any text message regarding the query, the specific nature of the query?
Yeah, they did. I'll be forwarding it now. Okay. Meanwhile, you can flash the horoscope. Um, she sent too many messages. That's why I don't know what to send. Of course, the anxiety is understandable. What is it, Dasha and Antardasha?
It is Jupiter, Guruji.
Okay.
Right now it's Jupiter Mercury. Jupiter is placed in the fifth along with Mercury and in tight conjunction. Mercury is the third and the 12th lord.
Do we have aspects of planets on houses?
Yes, Guruji.
Because we are interested in third house. If Jupiter is aspecting third house.
This is the third house aspect table
Okay.
at the bottom of the D1 chart. And we see that the third house is not receiving any aspect whatsoever.
Okay.
So,
Third Lord Mercury.
receiving the aspect of malefic Mars and also in a Graha Yuddha with Jupiter, who is the sixth and the ninth lord. And one more interesting situation is that both Mercury and Jupiter are combust.
So right now Jupiter Mercury is going on.
Yes, Guruji.
They're very close to each other, right?
Mercury, I mean, this is actually a conjunction of two auspicious grahas, but being the lords of third, 12th, and sixth, it is weighing heavily on that the third house lord. And not only is Mars aspecting, Saturn is also aspecting. And Saturn is aspecting Sun directly in terms of degrees.
Based on what the mother of the the boy had said, They have done some remedies like Mahamrutyunjay, I think, chanting the mantras. Okay. Anyway, yesterday the tumor was taken out. Okay. So at least to that extent, thank God they found out the tumor.
Mercury is the one, the third lord and the 12th lord getting badly afflicted by Mars and Saturn and Ketu.
Oh, they all have, okay.
They are having the aspect on Mercury, who is the third lord in the house of the fifth. And he's not just the third, he's also the 12th lord. Where was this affliction actually?
See, the main rule for tumors is Jupiter, the expansion graha, connecting to the third house factors. Okay. So here Jupiter is not looking at the third, but is heavily connected to the third house, Mercury.
Yes.
So whatever Maharishi has said in the chapter, he has said Jupiter's connection is very important. Both are in Saturn's nakshatra, right? But they have been doing Mahamrityunjaya mantra.
Guruji, with Saturn in the 8th, can we say that the outcome is not negative? But actually, which part of the body was affected? Okay. So many messages there.
Yeah, so many messages. But there has been one benign tumor in the brain. Okay, it is not malignant.
Mercury Jupiter seems to be Vargotham even in Vreta now.
Oh, okay.
Sun seems to be Vargotham in Navamsh.
One thing is that the Dasha Antardasha at this time is doubly afflicted by Saturn and Mars, and both these planets are in Sarpatarkana, showing some strong karma there.
Okay.
In fact,
Correct.
the 3 planets there is in Sarpatarkana.
Including Sun, no?
Yes. Since Jupiter is retrograde, even though afflicted and in Graha Yuddha, I think Jupiter.
No, Jupiter is not retrograde.
Sorry, Jupiter being direct, even though severe afflicted and in Graha Yuddha, I think since it's in a Trigona, it has to help. Maybe that's why the medical treatment is
Working.
Going out. Yeah, right.
But the messages are not clear, Guruji.
Yeah.
The questions and
I'm asking the person. She's sending the mother of the person is sending the message. Okay. Just hold on. I should be able to forward it to you. Between the urinary bladder and rectum in the pelvic area, stomach.
Saturn the 8th.
Yeah, Saturn the 8th. And it is in Saturn's nakshatra, this Mercury and Jupiter are together. The dasha is that of Jupiter and Mercury. So all this must have surfaced from 2021, right? November 2021, and it's up to 2024.
Which part of the body again, Guruji?
The pelvic area, stomach.
Connected with the secret organs or above that?
Yeah, it is between urinary bladder and the rectum.
Okay, because
the typical 8th house Saturn. Saturn in Rahu nakshatra as well, right?
Yeah.
So whatever she sent, I'm forwarding it to you immediately. And to some of the top students also, I'm sending it.
And Scorpio sign is involved, Guruji.
Huh?
Scorpio sign.
Scorpio. Okay, Scorpio. Okay. Kalapurusha's 8th house.
Yeah.
Right. So that's where the weak point is.
Yeah, and the 8th house as well as the 8th lord is 100% aspected by Mars. This same Mars is the one who is afflicting Jupiter and Mercury there. So I think Mars is the main culprit here, the afflictor.
Yeah. Okay. We'll use. Yeah. So it is like Mars and Saturn together afflict. That's the problem. They themselves are in mutual aspect, and Saturn is playing a very big role here. And right now in the sky, it's Saturn return as well, right? Saturn has come back to the same point. That is in a today's in a now transit, right? If you look at it.
And one more observation is coming from the D6, Guruji.
D6.
D6 is at the bottom left.
Okay.
Sashtamsa, and the Lagna Lord going to the 8th shows that once again the 8th house is causing the problem for the native. The 8th house significations.
Okay. So whenever Mercury is in trouble and Mercury has been identified as the main afflictor or the afflicted, which is why the person is unfortunately going through these problems, Maharishi Parashar always recommends Vishnu, right? Vishnu Sahasranama. So this recommendation is based on
2 points.
Brihat Parashara Horashastra.
There are 2 points which I would like to bring to your notice. Apart from Mercury being the 3rd lord and afflicting the 5th house, I am also getting afflicted both by being in Sarpatrikana and by combustion. One more point is that there are actually afflictions coming from Saturn and Mars's aspect to Mercury also. Mercury and Jupiter. So can we suggest Hanuman's worship, Lord Hanuman's worship?
Yes. The basis, at least in the 8th house, connected, we can say Saturn, right? In this chart. He is also 7th lord in the 8th, in the nakshatra of the 8th lord, Rahu. Okay.
And there is a positive element also in the chart in terms of this parivartana between Mars and Sun. So Mars aspecting his own bhava and Mars and Sun having this parivartana, I would not be considering this as a blemish also. In fact, it is a good parivartana between 2 friends, and that too the 2nd and the 5th lord. The only problem with the 2nd lord is that he is also considered as the Maraka. Upcoming dashas are also having a slight issue there. Because currently they are both conjunct. So the upcoming dasha is that of Jupiter and Ketu, which is 6-8 from each other. And then Jupiter Venus is 2-12 from each other. But Venus being in its own house.
Shall we move on to the next horoscope on the live stream?
Yes, Guruji.
Yeah. I'll talk to her separately because I have the horoscope details with me. What I'll have to tell, I'll tell to her directly. Okay. Shall we go in the order of?
Yes, Guruji.
Okay. See, if there is no specific problem of health, we'll skip that. Okay. For example, Ramana Reddy will skip because remedies for Mercury in the 12th. Okay.
If they give us the problem that they're facing, we can't suggest.
Yeah, we can't. We'll go to the next one.
Wait.
Suam Ray, right? Name Vishal.
Oh.
3rd June 1992. Time 8:02 p.m. at Didwana, Rajasthan.
3rd June.
Suffering
Okay.
from it says Didwana, Rajasthan. SUAVAM RAY. Yeah, correct. And 3rd June 1992. See, this is, he has taken the pain to enter everything in one message. The month is in words. So 3rd June 1992, time 8:02 p.m. Okay. Didwana, Rajasthan. Suffering from schizophrenia. Always lost in own thoughts, talks to self, not in good mental condition.
Would you like to go first, Gautam?
Pardon me?
No.
Yes, Kishore.
Schizophrenia, Gautam.
Yeah.
So whenever I get a case where the person has mental issues or things related to that, apart from the first house and Lucknow Lord, I go to the 5th house.
Okay.
Although the Lucknow Lord is in the 5th house, it is being aspected by a retrograde Saturn. Retrogression in medical astrology is always always a problem for medical things. Although in other part, it's good, or it may be a source of strength. In medical astrology, it's not a good sign. Apart from that, especially mental issues like this, something has to do with Sarpas or Rahu Ketu, something to that. Because it is something that we can't directly intervene since it's mental. And in this case, we see the Mars as a natural malefic in the 5th house. in Sarpadarkana and almost in Gandanta. And it also happens to be Bhargotam.
Okay.
So the fifth house is taking a hit here. And we see this, Mars is also is being in the Kendra Sambandha with Rahu and Ketu, who is with Moon.
Okay.
Something to Moon, Rahu, Ketu, and Mars. Mars being the Lucknow Lord becomes something more crucial in this matter.
Rahu looks at the moon, right?
Yes.
Mars
Eight,
and
yeah, it looks 86% according to your the software. Yeah, that's because it is ahead of Rahu's on the opposite side. So it has a very, very high aspect of Rahu over the moon.
And if you were to take the co-lord theory for the ascendant, by the rules,
Ketu.
Ketu would
Yeah.
be treated as the ascendant and more stronger than the Mars. And then we could say Ketu goes to the 8th house.
Okay.
And aspected by Mars from the 5th house.
this Mars is having the same degrees as the ascendant, which means it's going to deliver its fruits for sure. But its placement is good, it's in a friendly sign. So I will not say that the fifth house has a blemish. It is basically connected with the ninth lord going to eighth division, and that being moon getting affected or getting eclipsed in the Rahu Ketu axis, having that blemish of Rahu Ketu axis seems to be the pointer for the symptoms that he's describing,
Okay.
along with the aspect of Mars and Rahu. And this is the Rahu Ketu axis, but still additionally we are getting the affliction coming from Mars. In terms of affliction, Mars affliction is really very strong aspect of Mars.
Okay.
So the eighth house seems to be working in terms of chronic illnesses. I think he has described it now. Not in good mental suffering from schizophrenia. So can you tell us, Suam Ray, when this started? When the problem started? And the question he's asking is there a possibility of 100% cure as doctors are suggesting for lifelong medication?
For a person to receive good medication and for the treatment to be successful, I always look at the condition of Jupiter. And it's in Sambandha with Lucknow Lord. And this Jupiter is direct, so there has a potential for it. And the question as to why the Jupiter even allowed a problem like this to occur is because the Jupiter may have some sort of affliction. We are not able to see any immediate blemish to Jupiter as there is no malefic aspect or association, but we see that Jupiter is in a degree of Leo which is called as the Mrityubhaga for Jupiter. Kishore, can you check if Jupiter is a Mrityubhaga or if I'm wrong?
None of the grahas are in Mrityubhaga.
Even Venus?
No.
Okay.
The only strange thing is that Mercury and Venus are combust here. That is another additional thing that we have to make note. combustion happening in the 7th house, which is the Maraka house. The 10th lord going to 7th and combusting the 7th lord and the 8th and 11th lord together. That is the only affliction I can see from the chart, apart from what we discussed about moon. Because when we talk about schizophrenia, basically we have to look at the 5th house, 5th lord, moon, and also Mercury.
Also affliction on the
I'm
moon.
curious,
With Rahu Ketu being the main afflictors.
Yeah, yeah.
For me.
Mars
Guruji, I
is
wanted to
looking.
ask you, does Saturn,
Ma-
Ketu, Rahu, they're in each other's nakshatra? Ketu is in Rahu nakshatra, Rahu is in Ketu nakshatra?
Yes, it
Correct.
can.
Yeah, correct. That's an additional point. Yes.
That is seen here, right, Sonia?
Yeah. You can see that nakshatra is given in the chart.
Mm-hmm.
So Ketu, Rahu is in Ketu nakshatra, Ketu is in Rahu nakshatra. That makes it more poisonous, right? Okay.
Correct. Poisoning the mind.
So for poison, it's always, you go to Lord Shiva. So Shiva Puja, Shivalinga Puja. But in the Bhava chart, you can see Rahu, a lot of things happening on the 1-7 axis. Right? 1-7 axis. Rahu is in ascendant. Venus, Mercury, Sun, Ketu in the 7th. Moon in the 8th as the 9th lord. Mars looking at Moon. Saturn looking at Mars, Lagna lord, and all these factors. And the person has been going through Shani Mahadasa for a long time. And Shani is a functional malefic for Vrishchika Lagna.
It's also retrograde.
Correct. And it is in the house of the inclination, the third house.
Upcoming dashas are that of Mercury, which is coming in 2024. Saturn, Jupiter going on with 6-8 connect. As Gautam pointed out, Jupiter being straight or normal motion or straight forward motion, it is giving some sort of a blessing, but when we consider Mars, he's also the 6th lord. He's the Lagna lord, no doubt, but he's also the 6th lord.
Can we see what dasha the person was born? Antardasha.
Born in Jupiter.
Oh, okay.
Because
Jupiter,
because it is
Saturn.
Punarvasu, right?
Jupiter,
So, Punarvasu Nakshatra. So surely Jupiter. I mean Jupiter Saturn in this case. Yeah. But after Jupiter came Saturn. I think Saturn must have triggered everything. Not Jupiter.
in the astrology, they say the 3rd, 6th, and 11th lord of Rishabhaya are the most problematic dashas of these persons.
Correct.
And in this case, Saturn dasha came at a time when Saturn was not only retrograde, but also the 3rd lord. And for this Lagna as well as for the Mesha Lagna, Saturn, Venus, and Mercury are the most malefic. Mercury actually, mainly because of being the 8th and the 11th lord. So Mercury Dasha coming up in 2022, they have to persist with whatever remedies have been suggested by the doctors. So the question as to whether he has to take lifelong medicine, I would say definitely it's a long haul. Because Mercury is the 8th law. and the dasha of the 8th Lord in the 7th, which is again a Marthasthana. We have to be sure that the medications are taken on time and followed strictly. Okay. Along with that, the suggestions or remedies, I think we'll have to connect with Moon Guruji, basically, because Moon is
Correct. 9th Lord and the 8th, you have to increase the actual prayers, because 9th house is the gods, the gurus and teachers, dharma. So as much as the person can do the pujas, it gets better. More belief in God. It's very difficult with the schizophrenia going on.
Again, the affliction is seen even in this chart. Rekana, you see the Lagna Lord going to the 8th. That is Moon in Rekana is going to the 8th. And again afflicted by Mars.
Saturn is the 22nd Rekana Lord as well. So in Saturn Mahadasha, everything should have come out. This what the person is going through.
In this case, since Moon and Saturn are to be worshipped or taken as a remedial measure of the worship of Saturn and Moon, once again it points to Lord Shiva, right? Do we have any special remedies for Moon?
So the issue was diagnosed in Saturn Rahu, right? April 2020.
Is it mentioned?
Yes, it is mentioned in the chat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
2020.
Yes.
That was a diagnosis, but when are they feeling that affliction affecting them? That was the question actually. Diagnosis can happen anytime, but when did they feel that there's something wrong? That would be the onset of the problem, right?
Right.
I think probably Saturn Ketu. I mean, the person has to confirm though.
Right.
Saturn,
But-
Saturn Rahu, Gautam.
Yes, Saturn Rahu. Diagnosed at least. Yeah.
Saturn Rahu is once again 212, right?
Yes, and those two are unqualified marakas. Irrespective of the placement and lordship, it can give mental distress and physical ailments. And in this case, since Saturn is retrograde, gives more malefic effects in terms of health. And even if we ignore the Antardasha part of Rahu, we know for a fact that it was Saturn Mahadasha the entire time. And if we see from Saturn, the 5th house has severe afflictions. So from the 5th house, from Saturn as a Dasha Lagna, if we see the 5th house as the 6th and the 8th Lord, 6th Lord Mercury and the 8th Lord Sun together in the 5th house, showing a problem with the mental issues.
Yeah, that's a very valid point. Where you can always use the dasha as a lagna, because that is one of the recommendation in BPHS, because of which Saturn Rahu became bad, because from that point Rahu is in the 12th. If you take it from Makara, Rahu is in the 12th. So the trigger, based on the inputs given by the person, the trigger, if you get, you usually can identify the planet that is responsible, right? Yeah. So we were on the right track. that Rahu is the main person here. I think even Soumya added that Rahu is in Ketu Nakshatra and Ketu is in Rahu Nakshatra. So this is a very poisoned axis actually, this is the similar thing happened for the COVID, right? When the COVID came, Rahu and Ketu were in similar situations in each other's nakshatra. So better, I think, is Durga more, I think. Durga is, the choice. So goddess Durga Saptashati, Sarva Mangala Mangalya. And if there is some possibility of worshipping the Naga Devatas, snake gods, through the prescribed means, based on whichever locality you are in, you can always make an attempt with that. But of course, the better thing is to play the, use some gadget like YouTube and speaker, and let the person listen to the chantings wherever possible, and to avoid using black and brown as much as you can, because Saturn and Rahu, they're against, and the use of more yellow things, yellow items, yellow colors, golden colors to strengthen Jupiter and get better. A pearl ring set in silver worn on the ring finger must be quite helpful, right? Because moon has got afflicted. So to strengthen the moon, the ninth lord, that's a nice idea. Simply based on the inputs given that it was Shani Rahu and Rahu is afflicting the moon. So you can aim at strengthening the moon. Right?
So dignity got afflicted not just by Rahu Ketu, or even being the ninth lord, supposed to be the most benefic. Going to the 8th house, and even that also is not that big a problem, because it is going into a house where that lord considers moon as the enemy.
Correct.
So that is one observation. When we talk about schizophrenia or any psychological disorders, we basically have to look at the 5th house, the 5th lord, and the moon, and then we have to look at Mercury. Here, all of them seems to be fitting properly. Whether it is in the D1 or in the Drekana. And if somebody wants to go into other charts, please feel free to go, especially with D6 here.
Additionally,
And also, I wanted to add that schizophrenia, isn't it all mostly about hallucinations and illusions?
yeah, Rahu Ketu rules the
Rahu is-
hallucination.
Yeah.
The
So I think, Guruji, that you said mantras are very important for the person to hear, right? Durga.
Correct.
Or any
Durga, yes.
Ugra Devi,
Yes,
I think.
correct.
Yeah.
Ugra means more with more fierce, because this Rahu is now like a Rakshasa, right? And
Correct.
whenever the ninth
Yes,
lord
yes.
goes to 8, there is so much less God's, the grace. So we have to improve upon that, because having the ninth lord in the 8th is definitely a setback for this chart, right? So an attempt to strengthen the ninth, very important, because when Kishorji said about 5th house, we always can use the Bhavad Bhavam. The 5th and the 5th is also very important for the mindset. It's a Purva Punya, right? So Purva Punya is 5th house, and 9th house is fortune, Bhagya.
And also moon, Guruji. It's doubling up as the mind, Manokaraka.
Correct. As a Manokaraka, additional situation, right? And then I think you got the Mercury, Sun close. And Gautam pointed out to from Lagna the 5th, right? So from Lagna the 5th, and from the 5th and the 5th from Lagna 9th, which is Mercury again, we have some issues going on, right? Sun and Mercury conjunctions, and Sun Venus conjunction, all these things. But I think the main point is already revealed, right? Because it is only Saturn based. Saturn, Rahu, these are the two main things. So we'll have to say again, standard for this ascendant is Mahalakshmi Durga, Kama, Vishnu, obviously Hanuman, because of Vishnu's connection, These are the main gods for this ascendant, for all the people in the world. Okay, but now we know that there is a situation, therefore it is compulsory, because the ninth lord in the eighth is means that there is no credit balance, and you have to do a lot of prayers to improve upon it, to refill the the ninth house bank balance. Okay.
So even coming from the moon lagna, the same pattern is repeating. From the moon lagna, the fifth
Okay.
lord is afflicted, and the fifth house is again getting afflicted by Saturn and Mars.
Correct. From moon also.
From the moon lagna.
Yeah.
Because when we talk about the afflictions to the mind, let us consider moon lagna and see what is happening. Whether there's
Correct. That's a standard practice based on significators, right? Significator can become a lagna. So from that point, the fifth lord, Venus has gone to 12th, again afflicted by sun.
And from the moon lagna, we see the Saturn eighth lord in the eighth but retrograde. So unfortunate answer for you is to take medicines, and without the help of remedies and medicines, I think it's going to be.
Usually, what happens is when you do the astrological remedies and from the God's angle and charity, etc., it speeds up the recovery. Even doctors find it, though they may not accept it, but the person in trouble, the patient will always have an advantage combining both science and spirituality.
And is there anything else that we can suggest for Rahu Ketu being in 2-8, apart from the maladies that he has stated? Merely saying the Rahu Ketu placement in 2-8, also we need to be careful with that.
Whenever Rahu is the trouble, always gurus are the savior. So on top of basically reciting Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu mantras, praising the gurus, listening to the gurus, listening to discourses, religious discourses, spiritual people talking, all this can mean a lot. Usually 5th and 9th problems, meditation is the key to join a meditation center and try.
Mantra chanting.
Yes. Typical meditation like transcendental meditation or from Art of Living or from any organization, the Patanjali meditation helps a lot.
Then that would turn in his favor when we see moon in the 8th.
Correct.
He starts doing a meditation, and when he starts doing the remedies that are suggested, because more than Rahu is the one who afflicts the mind actually. Whereas Ketu and Moon together, when we see them, we tend to say that if they are spiritual, then the affliction is reduced. So it's more pointing towards the worship in the form of meditation or chanting of mantras, divine mantras.
Correct.
So we'll go to the next chapter.
Yes. Gautam, keep an eye on what is the, if the person, the one who's asking the question is following up with some more statements, keep an eye on it.
Sure, Guruji.
So what is the next one?
The next one is coming up. Is it Puja? GA? My sister Vidya Lakshmi. What is that? Can anybody Google and tell what is hydradenitis? We don't know. Oh, okay, she's mentioning herself. Chronic skin disease where lumps are formed. Okay, there's a time also mentioned. Timeline is mentioned. So we'll take a look at that. Puja Vidya Lakshmi. And what else is mentioned? Well, 10 p.m. I'm supposing it is near Udupi. So when we look at the question asked, the question is about a skin disease. Right, Gautam? 2018. Venus Sun. Hmm. Guruji, the Lagna ascendant degree seems to be suspect here.
So
Shall we?
it's on the border, right?
And
It's on the border,
that's right, Guruji. So
0 degree. So we are not very sure whether it is correct. Could be Libra ascendant. We'll hope it is correct. And what else to do? Because we don't have enough time to ask so many questions and rectify it.
here also, as per medical astrology, we have Jupiter retrograde here, with Saturn also retrograde.
Yeah.
Ninth lord debilitation, fifth lord or fifth house affliction, fifth lord is retrograde, but that's not a big affliction as such.
Mercury is afflicted and both the Mercury houses are afflicted.
Yeah, that's a very important point there.
Mercury being a karaka for skin diseases.
Correct.
Eighth
Yeah, and those
chronic ailments.
This is a case where Mercury being in its own sign is not helping the person.
yeah, it's
Because the sign
the
itself
house
is
and the
doubly
Lord.
affected. Yeah.
Yeah, house and the Lord both.
Right.
One more important information is that the Lagna Lord is in the 8th, along with the 7th Marka Lord. So whenever we see the Lagna Lord going to the 8th house, which is the biggest enemy sign, by the way, then it fortune is an aspect of Jupiter there. But in medical astrology, the retrograde Jupiter's aspect seems to be suspect once again. So I believe that this affliction needs to be taken care of from the 8th house remedies for Mercury. Once again, Rahu Ketu affecting both Saturn, Mercury, and the 511 axis.
What is the current dasha? Venus.
Venus Rahu. The affliction started in 2018, which is Venus, being the 7th and 12th lord.
Yeah, Venus is in trouble. So let them, let the person do goddess worship, the female, and give a lot of gifts to poor, women. This Venus, right, in 7th lord in the 8th, or even 12th lord in the 8th.
Georgie, can you check if Mars is in Vritti Bhaga?
I was about to say that Mars is in Vidya. That is the point, it comes under the Arishta Yoga. Lagna Lord going to the 8th and being in Vidya Bhaga. That is one point which, and also the 9th Lord debilicated. That is again another thing coming up here. The previous chart also the 9th Lord was having an affliction. Here also the 9th Lord is debilicated.
I feel she could be a Saji ascendant as well. So.
Sagittarius.
No. Sagittarius is not possible, no? 0 degree.
Where
So
is-
it can only be Libra.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
And according to you, if it was going to go to Sagittarius, then this would be severe Gandhanta. Like this.
Have you checked the aspects?
Yeah, I'm looking at Mercury receiving anything good or bad. It seems to be just 70 coming from Saturn.
Yeah, only Saturn. Okay. Mercury directly opposed by Saturn.
But the affliction, of course, is the Rahu Ketu axis.
Okay.
And
Rahu Ketu, everything. Okay.
I think that this degree is also suspect, very much suspect.
I think we can take it as it is, because at least we are getting some connection with Venus. The is also a kind of a beauty related graha. All this ailments spoil the beauty, try to spoil the beauty. We become conscious of it. Right.
What is the Antardasha this native was born in? Mercury is the Dasha.
Mercury, Venus.
Yeah, maybe you can slide up the Vimshatri Dasha, right?
It's in the Zoom screen, but in the YouTube screen, it will be lagged.
Oh, it will take some time. Okay.
Basically, 159 is the afflicted part here. The chart.
Mm.
5th is afflicted, 9th Lord, 9th Bhava is also under Tapakatri, and 9th Lord is also debilitated. So 159, and the Lagna Lord himself gone to 8th, the worst enemy sign for it. So we need to strengthen the most important houses, the 159. The previous chart was also similar, but similar remedies are connected with Moon, Mercury.
Mars looking at Mercury is only 46%, right? If you do the finger counting method, it is like 4th from Mars. If you go to the exact aspect, it is only 46%. Right? Saturn looking at Mercury, 70%. Shall we move on to the next one?
Let's go.
Yeah.
Right hand elbow fracture. Shall you look at that, Guruji?
No, we can skip it because it will heal automatically, and there's a general Ketu Mahadasha question. For Ketu Mahadasha, the best thing is always Ganesh Puja, and maybe you. Okay, if you want, you can do this because fractures, elbow fracture, I think it will become all right, right?
We'll go with the more severe afflictions which are
Yeah,
being
severe afflictions, yes.
from Amber Jane, suffering from mental condition, lost everything. Kindly put some light. 1993. What condition is that actually? Like, if there's any name for that? See. Do you take it, Dhilip?
Okay. Arpan Jain, right? I'm suspecting Saturn Moon connections. Yeah. Let's see how it is.
Words that they have used, you know.
Huh?
The words that they have used is pointing to that only, Saturn and
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like
13/4/1993.
13/4/1993. Time of birth is 2:15 a.m.
Saharanpur.
Ketu in the 5th house.
Ketu in the 5th, is it? Okay. What software are you using?
Same Guruji, Sri Jyoti.
Oh, Sri Jyoti. Okay.
Deepakji, do you have all these charts open? The Rekana, Navamsha, Parakamsha, and Parivriti Beaches.
Yeah, I have it in a like somewhat in a
different
way.
format. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you can also share the screen if you want.
Okay, Guruji.
Okay, you can
Yeah.
get started. You can join as a volunteer and speed things up.
Yes.
Okay.
Deepak ji, if you have set the format in the same way in Sri Jyoti, then I suggest you be ready with the next one, which is Pinky Prashant. Okay,
Okay, Kishore ji. Okay.
keep
Oh.
it same.
Yes.
Or maybe if you
Deepak
want,
Kumar, how do you have the YouTube live stream link you have, is it?
No,
Okay.
Guruji, link I don't have.
Then how are you seeing the comments?
YouTube live stream open, I have, Guruji.
Oh, you have kept it open.
Yes.
Okay. Good.
suffering from mental condition, lost everything. Okay. And Arpan Jain, if possible, please mention when the events were triggered actually, because this being 1993, we would like to know when the problem started. Did the problem start after he lost everything, or did it start even before, or was the problem the cause for losing everything? Do you understand my question, Arpan Jain?
Yes.
It's a very important because based on that only we can find out who or where we need to look at. Bipolar disorder. Okay.
Okay. He says July 2021.
Let's go to that spot. Just
Before losing everything. Okay.
Moon Venus. Moon in 12th and Venus in the 3rd.
Yeah. Yoga Karaka Venus is.
Exalted, but Moon is running Dasha from the 12th. The 7th Maraka Lord running Dasha from the 12th.
It could be moon, sun too.
Let's see.
I think he has already given the time when it was.
July he has mentioned. So that is.
Yeah, most of July 2021 falls in moon, sun. And sun is definitely afflicted being in Gandhanda.
Yeah, Gandanta, Sarpadrekana. Right.
Jupiter's Vimshupak is 5.6. I'm keeping an eye on Vimshupak. Till now, Vimshupak balas were not a problem, but here Vimshupak bal for Jupiter is low. And it's also retrograde once again. We are seeing Jupiter retrograde here.
It's almost maximum retrogression as
Venus retrograde. Jupiter.
And Gautam, should we look at Rahu's Prithyubhada also being debilitated?
yes.
Rahu Ketu debilitated on 5. I think as soon as possible, the person should do Naga Pratishtha as per Sage Bhrigu, right? In Bhrigu Sutra.
The losses would have happened because of the 511 axis also, right?
Yeah, 511. Yes. 5 is a Lakshmi Sthana. So we don't. Actually, this Ketu is quite different from a normal, like if you say Ketu in the 5th, 1/12 of the world's population will have Ketu in the 5th. But this Ketu is quite harmful because it is Nicha. It is debilitated.
Is in the 12th.
Yeah. Then Moon is in the 12th. Moon is the 64th Navamsha Lord.
Upcoming Mars is running Dasha from the 6th, and Mars is the 4th and 11th lord for this native.
Okay.
And Mars is also in a Sandhi. The state of that Graha is also not a good state.
Ascendant, Ketu, Jupiter, all three are in Moon Nakshatras. Seventh Lord.
Mercury is debilitated, right?
Both are debilitated.
What? What, Kishorji?
Both Rahu and Ketu are debilitated.
Mercury, yeah, Mercury has Necha Bhanga because of Venus.
Because of Venus. Then
but
because of Venus, Ketu Nichatam is also is not there, right?
Ketu, I mean, Venus is not good, right?
No, Ketu is Nicha, but the Lord of fifth house where Ketu is there is also exalted, right? Then we can say Ketu's Nichatam is also not there. So is Bhangam, it happened, right? Can we say that?
It's retro.
We don't say Nietzsche for Rahu Ketu, right? We just say they are retrograde or, they are debilitated or exalted. So in this case, Ketu being debilitated here, we got to see where it's pointing to. These afflictions, they seem to be stemming from the 6th, the 3rd, 6th, and the 11th Brahma.
The Mars aspect on the ascendant is 100%.
Mars aspecting ascendant. Yes, that's a very valid point. Mars is a very bad graha for...
yeah, 11th Lord.
Yeah, for Makara Lagna, is even called a very bad planet, right? Maharshi has used the word Maraka. But Mars' additional problem is at 29 degrees, it is in Mrita Avastha. So, in an odd sign, when planets go to the edge, it is in a state called Mrita Avastha. The Baladi Avastha, actually. Avasthas. So, here the main problem is that Moon in the 12th got afflicted by Mars.
It is
right?
only having the percentage, only very less percentage aspect on the Moon.
On the
61.
Moon, is it?
61%.
Oh, that's because 29 and 18. Okay. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. But going by the books, it is simply Ketu in the 5th is enough. Because it gives you a two mind, like usually. The Maharshi is hinting at that. You always feel to change roles. I want to be like that.
I'm not at this place.
I'm not well in this place. I would have been better in the other place. Right? What is the sound that is coming in between suddenly? Okay.
Mars Dasha seems to be the trigger for the losses that happened, Guruji. Because Mars is running Dasha from the 6th. And also in that very old state, the planetary state of being in the Vrita.
Yeah, Mrita Avastha.
Not only is Mars Vrita, but even the dispositor of Mars is also Vrita. Mercury.
Oh, okay. Because that is an even sign, right? Yeah. In even sign, it is 0 to 6 degrees.
But then there is one saving grace, but then that saving grace is coming from retro Jupiter. See,
so it's not helpful.
There are two questions here which are interesting because both, I think, are connected to each other. They're saying one is the mental condition and the other is lost everything, lost job and all that. But I asked a question whether it was both happening, whether one was the cause for the other. Maybe she has replied. She said losses happened before Mars Dasha. What is that? Moon. Yeah, Moon is also the 12th, running Dasha from the 12th, right? So that also qualifies for the losses. Any Graha with Dasha from the 6th or the 12th or the 8th is the one that causes challenges.
In the chat, Vidya M has said Mercury in Dvishwabhava Rashi. That is because it's a double-bodied sign. The two thoughts running simultaneously. Okay, Mercury. That's a nice point because Mercury is already debilitated. Okay.
And there is Parivartana. Debilitated Mercury is in Parivartana with the ninth and
Okay, Jupiter and Mercury Parivartana.
Yeah, that's
yes.
Nichapanga.
Okay.
Sir, one more point is the Mercury is not only giving aspect 100% aspect on the ascendant, it is giving 100% aspect to the Lagna Lord also, Saturn. So it's not 100% but 91%.
Mercury?
Mars is giving aspect to the ascendant.
Mars
100%,
is looking at ascendant 100%.
and also Lagna Lord, Saturn. 91%.
Okay, very strong. Okay, so Mars is a hurting graha. So topmost god for Rahu Ketu along with Mars is Kuke Subramaniam, where you have the snake and skanda connected. Okay. On using Google, you can find out. There's a nice picture where you have skanda on a peacock with the peacock has grabbed a snake under its feet and a snake in its beak. Okay.
And seeing the Dasha sequence, the person will be going through Mars Dasha till 2029.
Yeah.
And followed by Rahu. So it is very crucial to do remedies and to get rid of all these problems.
Correct. That's a nice point. Yes.
So let's hope the 2029 Rahu Dasha should bring them some relief in terms of monetary benefits, because Rahu in the 11th is usually good. But this Rahu is debilitated. So again, they have to be careful.
Maybe 8th Lord in the 4th is also a reason for this problem, sir. Can I ask? Can I? I mean, just it's a question. 8th Lord in the 4th.
Yeah, 8th Lord in the 4th is not good, right? So kind of we don't want a bad Lord in the 4th. It usually makes them, it makes them unhappy.
Yes, unhappy and
yeah. Sugasthana is afflicted by the 8th Lord. That's a nice point. You can add it up. And Vidya M says Sade Sati is also playing a part just because I think she's referring to 2021. Because I think this person was in Sade Sati until this year, 2023. So when it surfaced, it was in, the person was in Sade Sati. Okay.
The reason why I'm looking at Saturn is because it's not only the Lagna Lord, but also the second Lord in the second. The mention of losses is there, though it's not the topic for today's discussion, but
correct.
It is connected with the health issues. We see that Mars is aspecting Saturn. That is the point which we need to note.
Yes. And one more point is the 5th Lord and 6th Lord are in conjunction. Is not tight conjunction, but a conjunction is there. And 6th Lord is, Nichapanga happened, but it is not in the Kendra, right?
You mean Ketu and Mars?
The 5th Lord is Venus and the 6th Lord is
Mercury.
Mercury, and they are in conjunction. Mercury is the Lord of the for diseases and like that. The fifth lord is always mind issues. So the conjunction may affect.
No, I feel the affliction is from Mars, Sridevi, because Venus Mercury here would not be that big a problem compared to the Mars affliction that is happening.
Correct.
Yes, not only that, but fifth house lord is also not in a good position. Even though it is exalted, the fifth lord is also not in, being Ketu in fifth, and the fifth lord is in conjunction with the sixth lord, and what you said, Mars giving aspects to the Lagna and Lagna lord.
Coming to the remedies, Guruji, recap if possible.
Yeah, it is. The main thing is definitely Naga Pratishtha. Because Parasha has given an indirect, Sage Bhrigu has given an indirect hint that you could be in two places in the mind at the same time. If you have Ketu in such a bad shape, right? Ketu is debilitated. So I think that should be the primary remedy. And the other one is because Mars is having a big role here, and already we established that Rahu Ketu are connected. It is that particular form of skanda where there is more emphasis on the snake. So you have that picture available on. You just Google. I think you should be able to get it. If you don't, you can always send a message to us, and we will have it sent to you. Okay. So we have crossed 1.5 hours. So Kishorji, do you think we can stop the live stream and you can continue the discussions amongst the students?
Yes, Guruji. I'm just quickly going through the chats to see if there's anything that is an emergency sort of a thing.
Okay. If you find, you can. Okay.
Others can also look at the chat and recommend anything that need to be taken.
Okay. Some people have asked questions about job, so we are not attending on that now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Please note this is a discussion only for with the health point of view.
Correct.
Please don't ask routine questions or mundane questions because that can happen in another YouTube video.
We'll definitely announce for other topics.
Arpan Jain asks, what should be done with the picture of Kuke Subramanian?
It is to be worshipped through the skanda, mantras, Om Saravana Bhava. And if they know a little bit of Tamil, there is a beautiful skanda shashti kavacham. Okay. We don't have equivalent of that in other languages, but you can try listening to skanda shashti kavacham. Okay.
Also, Arpanji, since you're a Jain, I would recommend you also do this Mahamantra, right? Namo Riyantanam. That should be done rigorously and try to go to take the blessings of the monks or Gurujis. Feed them, because when they come for that Bhiksha, if you feed them, then everything gets taken care of by Saturn in the second. In fact, that is one big positive in the chart. Saturn in the second, who is the second lord in the second. And the 3-9 affliction that you can take care of is by going to the Gurujis who are, traveling, the monks. If I'm not mistaken, you can do that, right? We call them as Maharaj Sahib, right? In Jain parlance. And you can do the seva for them. That will really, that blessing, the blessing of a monk will really help you. Along with whatever Guruji has mentioned. JM TV Telugu, please don't repeat the questions. We are not talking about job and other things at the moment. We are really talking about health issues.
Shall we stop the live stream and students can continue with the other discussions that you have? Is it okay?